Welkom kijkers bij weer een nieuwe aflevering van Nieuw Rechts Spreekuur. Ik heb vandaag een bijzondere gast, namelijk niemand minder dan Diana Șoșoacă. Zij is een Roemeens Europarlementariër en tevens wilde zij meedoen aan de presidentsverkiezingen in Roemenië, maar zij werd uitgesloten. In Roemenië is het op dit moment politiek gezien enorme chaos. De voormalig winnaar van de eerste ronde van de verkiezingen is compleet uitgesloten van de verkiezingen, Călin Georgescu, maar de rechterlijke macht heeft besloten om meerdere kandidaten niet te laten meedoen, waaronder Diana. En met Diana ga ik daar een gesprek over hebben. En voor het gemak van het gesprek switch ik over naar het Engels natuurlijk, want zij kan geen Nederlands helaas. Voordat ik ga beginnen wil ik zeggen tegen iedereen, beste kijkers, abonneer je alsjeblieft op ons kanaal en deel deze video, want dit soort content zie je nergens anders in de Nederlandse media. Diana, it's good to have you here. Thank you for your time.
Hello, thank you for your invitation.
Yeah, no worries. Well, we are here in the Netherlands. We read a lot about the elections in Romania. They were cancelled last December after the first round. And now there are new elections in May. But you're not allowed to join the elections. It's forbidden for you.
It's a very long story. It's about 35 years of dictatorship and not democracy. I was the first candidate banned in October 2024. On 5th October, for the first time in 35 years and in entire history of democracy and entire world, a person is banned because she drive I love to drive faster, okay, and for this I was fined, but this was one of the motivation over speed, because I visited as a senator of Romania at the reception to embassy of Russia embassy. There was a lot of receptions, and the invitations were bring from the military post at the Senate of Romania. We were a lot of others parliamentarians who accepted the invitation because I was the biggest fighter in pandemic against mask and vaccination, and because I'm anti-vax, because I am Eurosceptical and NATO skeptical, and for this, that means I do not obey the constitution. I'm a lawyer for 30 years. I always obey the law. I always obey the constitution. They do not. So in October, because I was on the first place in a real polls, and because I'm a woman, you should know that in Romania we have misogynist society, including Mr. Georgescu, you mentioned, said a woman women are not allowed to be cannot be the president of Romania because they are women. So even him, and it's a long story about him because he's not a democratic person. He is from the system, and he had the role to prolong the mandate of Iohannis, the former president of Romania, and to disintegrate the nationalist movement. So they needed me to get out of that elections because I could have the chance to win from the first tour. So they banned me in Constitutional Court. Of course, that decision cannot be appealed, but I tried in all the ways to appeal to all the courts in Romania. By the way, I would like to tell you something. In Romania, a Constitutional Court is not a justice court. It's an organization, an official organization, with 9 so-called judges, but the Constitutional Court has no attributes to judge as a justice court. Yes, it has to to guarantee to respect the constitution. They should check if we have all the documents to become to be in this election, but not to judge someone, not to stop someone to candidate. They cannot do that, but they did it.
Yeah.
Because these 9 so-called judges are named by 3 by President of Romania and the other 6 by the political parties which are in the government. All of these so-called judges were members of these political parties.
Okay.
Liberals and Socialist Democrats. And they are voted by parliament. So, this is the problem with Constitutional Court. Never in 35 years, Constitutional Court never banned a candidate.
Yeah.
And we have Thierry Breton, the former commissioner, European commissioner, which in December said that it was an order from European Commission. If you remember, last year in July, when we had a plenary in Strasbourg, it was a very big scandal about me because I raised the icon with Jesus Christ in the plenary of European Parliament, and I yelled to Ursula that she is a criminal, that she killed a lot of people in pandemic, that she is accused of stealing a lot of money with vaccination, billions of euros, and nobody is doing nothing about this case. And for this, I was sanctioned. From that moment, Ursula von der Leyen promised that I will be no longer, for a long time, a European parliamentarian, and now they are trying to get me out from the European Parliament.
Yeah.
So from that point, I have a gift to make a lot of friends in politics. Yeah. So she was my my best enemy in this political European world. So in October they banned me. Nobody wanted to do something against this decision of Constitutional Court. And I told them as a lawyer, if you will not stop now Constitutional Court, they will cancel the elections. I knew that. I knew from the European Parliament because it was a lot of gossip. And I knew that Ursula doesn't want to have another president because she has to be sure that a president would sign documents that she needed for the war against Russia. Because the reality is European Union, leading by Ursula von der Leyen, wants to fight with Russia. They want a real war. Why? Because of their resources. In fact, the real motivation is not Ukraine. Ukraine, they used Ukraine to attack Russia because they want to win against Russia. Not even Napoleon Bonaparte did it. So let's see if Ursula will succeed. They do not know history. And they want to conquer Russia for resources, to extend European Union. They say they are saying that they are fighting against communism. The real communism and dictatorship is in European Union. We have no rights. We have no rights to think. We have no rights to express our opinions. We do not have freedom of speech, because if we would have the freedom of speech, we wouldn't be allowed to talk in plenary 1 minute. What is 1 minute? What can you say in 1 minute?
Yeah, nothing.
Nothing, yeah? So they restricted our freedom rights, our opinions, our right to think. There is no longer democracy in Europe. If it was, I don't know. I wonder if it ever was democracy in Europe. In Romania, we didn't have. After that, they liberate they liberate the way for Georgescu. Georgescu belonged to the communist system, the former communist system, and he was for 12 years in Romania the director of Department of Implementing Agenda 2020 in Romania. You know what is Agenda 2020? Yeah, diminish the population, artificial food, this kind of wars, and he was the man who succeeded to implement it, Agenda 2020. He used to work with Social Democrats. It's a political party who is leading Romania from 1989. They have a lot of former communists from secret services. Mr. Georgescu is one of the agents of secret services, external, foreign secret services. And he never, after that, he didn't live in Romania. He lived in Vienna, in Austria.
Yeah.
In 2020, I knew him. I met him. He wanted to collaborate with me. And in our collaboration, I discovered a coward. Because in 2021, in January, he told me that I shouldn't fight against the pandemic measures because Big Pharma will kill me and my kids too. He is threatening by Big Pharma, but he didn't fight against this pandemic. He had some interviews and that's all. And he told me that he will retire, and he from that point, from January, he didn't appear until 2022 or 2023, something like that.
Yeah.
In this 25 years, he tried to become the Prime Minister of Romania, and always in relations with Socialist Democrats. At the elections from December, we had on 24th the first tour of presidential election, and on 1st December we had parliamentarian elections. Before 1st December, I asked public Mr. Georgescu, because he won the first tour, he was on the first pole position, I asked to say to the population that he will support and he's supporting nationalist parties, and he will put a prime minister from our political parties with nationalist views. He refused. He said that he will support nobody, and if he will become the president of Romania, he will name a prime minister from majority. The majority was Social Democrat, Liberals.
Yeah.
It's another parties, USR, which are progressists, and minorities, ethnical minorities. So this is a majority now. This is a majority for 35 years. I'm trying to explain you to understand the entire situation. So they banned me, so Georgescu have the way to be on the first position, because all the people in Romania wanted to vote at me. I'm a lawyer, I'm justiciar, and they know me, how I fight against this system. And when they banned me, all the people were astonished. What shall we do? Okay, the system apply manipulation called social engineering. If you are looking on YouTube on 2023, it's in Romania, but you can put in subtitles. It's a general. It's a general from Secret Service, Internal Secret Services. His name is ROG, R-O-G, who told us in 2023 what Secret Services will do with the elections on 2024. It's unbelievable. And they told us that if it will be a candidate, another from their system, and that candidate can change the willing of the people, of the voters, they will apply social engineering, and they will declare that candidate unconstitutional. It was about me. And if they want, and they if they do not have the results they want, they will cancel the elections. It's 1 hour, that interview. It was unbelievable. I made a lot of complaints against this general. Nobody did a thing against him because that was a plan. So, Mr. Georgescu didn't want to support nationalist parties. On 1st December, the system, the Secret Services system, invented a new political party named POT, P-O-T, the party of teenagers. They are not teenagers. They are led by a woman who was a deputy and never in her political life fight against a system. And they succeed. Why? Because with this social engineering, they succeeded to take from our votes, from SOS Romania party, which I lead. They wanted to divide the nationalist movement, and they created an anarchy. On internet, on TikTok, we discovered that all the publicity, all the electoral campaign of Georgescu was paid by liberals, which are in the government.
Yeah.
He said, I don't know. Yes, he knew. You cannot have such a publicity without knowing. Yeah. So he lied when he said he pays 0 for his campaign. He is surrounded, Georgescu, by mercenaries, which fought in Africa, which killed a lot of women and kids. I know personally some of them. Now it's the justice discovered, and they admitted, these mercenaries, that they paid Georgescu with millions of euros. So, in December, on 6 December, they canceled, in the middle of the process, they canceled elections. Of course, for everybody was astonished, but everybody asked me, how did you know that? I know because I'm a lawyer and I know the plan. I have all the pieces from a puzzle.
Yeah.
I knew what they want. I knew that it was an order from Ursula von der Leyen. And in December appeared Thierry Breton and said, yes, it was an order from European Commission. Nobody arrested him. Nobody arrested Ursula. Nobody arrested the president of Romania. Nobody arrested Prime Minister of Romania. Everything was very good for the system. In the meantime, Mr. Georgescu attacked this cancellation to all the courts, internal courts. And they created an anarchy in Romania because they wanted violence. So they put into force an emergency situation, and that emergency situation should spread all around Europe, and it will be the perfect dictatorship. They thought that I will do the mistake to tell the people of Romania, get out on the streets and make a lot of violence. There were on the streets a lot of progressists. There were a lot of teenagers paid by that political party, progressive political parties. I do care about kids. They love me a lot. And I said, don't do the mistake to get out on the streets and fight with our brothers, with our kids. Because this is what they want. They want violence. They want blood. So a lot of people of Romania listened to me and didn't get out on the streets. It was the only thing I could do at that moment. So after that, they ask the people who are all around Georgescu, ask for second tour to come back. And here we have a lot of lies, because Georgescu lied to the people that second tour will come back. They lied to the people of Romania. It was a part of the plan that they can win in courts. They couldn't win in courts because you cannot appeal of this a decision of Constitutional Court.
Yep.
They appealed to CEDAW, Human Rights Court, European Human Rights Court. Of course, they didn't have success. After that, in the meantime, I wrote to the Venice Commission. I wrote to the United Nations Organization. I wrote to Americans. I wrote to Human Rights Court. I wrote everywhere to help Romania to regain her democracy. So it was, and in European Parliament, I asked all political groups to do something to recover democracy, because this is an example, a bad example, that will spread all around Europe. And I was talking to AfD party from Germany, and I told them, I told you in October to act because it will happen to you in Germany. Now, AfD, remember what Thierry Breton said. If we want, we can apply this method in Germany. AfD had more than 30%. After the elections, they had 19%. Someone very important told me, talk to AfD and tell them to check the correspondence votes. They were stolen, and it was a big fraud with correspondence votes. In Moldavia, the referendum for EU, it was a big fraud with the votes from Romania, because, you know, Moldavia, it's former territories of Romania. We have there Romanians, no Moldavians. Moldavians does not exist. They are Romanians. And the power from Bucharest succeeded to do a big fraud with the votes of Moldavian people. In Romania, we never had freedom to choose our president. All the elections were fraud for 35 years. I know what I'm telling you. So, I told to AFD, if they banned me, they will try to forbid my party, SOS Romania party, and they will try to cancel your party in Germany. Now they are in court. The system is trying to cancel, to ban for political system the AFD. It's exactly what they are trying to do. They do not need nationalists. They want, in 2023, it was a poll made by European Union, and the question was, would you agree that in Europe does not exist countries but regions leading by governors, and European Union to have a president, the president of European Commission, and European Commission to become the government of Europe, and all your countries become regions leading by governors? It was a big scandal in Romania made by me, and they canceled that poll. But I don't know what is happening in other countries. Yeah. But in that moment, I realized what is their plan. Yeah. So we are now in another process of elections. Of course, all my people told me, you have to candidate, you have to go. Don't stop, because it will be a big mistake if you do not if you don't fight against them. So I candidate.
Yeah, you got the boxing gloves on.
Yeah. But now not constitutional court stopped me. A little authority named electoral authority, which has no attributes to judge in this manner, which has no attributes to stop someone, because I respected the law. All the documents the law asked me to put, I put it. I did it. So they apply that decision from October, my decision, they applied to for Georgescu. Why? Because Georgescu was preparing to get out of the story, because after his banning, he said something. I did my mission. So I was right. Again, I was right. But now we have in society Romanian against Romanian. They created a war, internal war between Romanians. This is a story of Georgescu. For 3 weeks, he never appeared.
Yeah.
After that, he appeared the last time on a manifestation with that George Simion and Ana Maria Gavrila. They put them to candidate together so they can split the votes, nationalist votes. Yeah. But they are not nationalist. George Simion is misogyn person. He is with the system. He has a lot of arrangement with social democrats. I was in his party in 2020. He asked me to come there. It was a new political party. Nobody knew about him. And because of me, they succeeded to enter in parliament, because I was very well known and so loved by the people, because I defended not only the rights and the freedom in the pandemic, but I went in hospital. I saved a lot of lives there. I was fighting with police. I was fighting with police when they wanted to close our churches. So it was a real fight for me. So because of me, hour entered in parliament, and after 1 month, they get me out from the party.
Yeah.
So now Mana Maria Gavrila said she's retired from the elections, and I said all the people from that list, okay, if you supported Georgescu, including Simeon, I told him you supported Georgescu, so he was banned. If you are a fair person, you should get out from these elections because it is not a fair play. They are not correct elections. It's a list of the system who says, these are the person I permit you to vote. I allow you to vote only these persons. So how come you can be on that list? So I think from my informations that in May, these elections will be cancelled too.
Yeah, okay, interesting. No.
Because they need this president, interim president, Bolojan, to sign the documents Ursula need against Russia because they want the Third World War. Because I had some interviews in Russia from the Romanian Parliament and from European Parliament yesterday, they announced me that I will be sanctioned, and they are trying to get me out forever from the European Parliament and maybe put in jail for activities against order of European Union. This is what's happening with person who have the courage to say the truth. And you should know that in 2022, I did the only memorandum in the world, Neutrality for Romania, Peace of Bucharest. It was for the first time when I visited Russia because it was the only embassy who wanted to talk with us. We were 4 Romanian parliamentarians who told Russia, the people of Romania doesn't want to fight with Russia. We don't want war. We don't need war. We need peace. From 2022, I'm fighting for peace. And because I am for peace, they declare me a public enemy number 1. Because I said free Palestine, they sue me in court, in a penal court, in 8 cases. And they call me anti-Semite. Why should I be anti-Semite? Because I fight for the freedom of Palestinians, because I want peace there and not to be killed women and kids? This is a reality in European Union and in Romania, and nobody wants to tell you that. The Bolshevik system, the Soviet system, is still living in Romania. And as I see, is still living in European Union, exactly in the main institutions. It's unacceptable. You are very young. You have the future before. But what is your future? They will force you to go in a war that it doesn't belong to us. It's a war for resources. It's a war for power. Why should you go to be killed? You saw the cemeterians in Ukraine?
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Why did they die?
Yeah, for nothing, for proxy war. And, it's terrible what's going on, and especially if we hear this story from you about Romania, it also feels like the European Union is indeed like using your elections just to fight another war, to instrumentalize the elections, and that sounds really problematic.
And they will do exactly in the same way in other countries. They did it in Germany.
Yeah.
And now they are preparing to apply this kind of game in France. You know, Marine Le Pen is the most loved person in France For 20 years, she is trying to become the president of France. Even if people vote for her, she can't. Why? Because of the fraud of the elections. We have to have courage to say the truth. In all the countries, we have a big fraud, especially with that correspondence votes. There is a problem.
Yeah, I understand you. And I want to know, what are your plans, or what are your next steps? Because you're excluded from the elections. You might even lose your seat in the European Parliament. Are you afraid of it, or are you, of course, going to fight till the last person to stay there in Europe?
Do I look like a scared person?
No, not at all.
Okay, so they call me Xena, the warrior princess. This is my nickname here in Romania. I will continue to fight. The show must go on. In 1 month, I will be to Mar-a-Lago. I'm invited by Trump administration. I was 1 month ago to CPAC, to the Congress of Republicans. So I succeeded to have good relations with USA, with Russia too, with China. This should be the policy, the real political views of European Union, not to be in war with everybody, but to talk to everybody and to be in good relations with everybody. So if I succeeded this, they hate me. Well, I will fight. I will attack all these decisions. I'm expecting now to receive the motivations because I appeal to Constitutional Court. The Constitutional Court reject my appeal. So now I'm waiting for the motivation so I can go to the European Court of Human Rights. I don't know if I will have success there, but this is the next step, legally speaking. My SOS Romania party, which is parliamentarian party, is fighting in Romanian parliament. I will continue to fight in European Parliament. Now I have a lot of European parliamentarians, nationalists who are fighting. There are some from socialists and liberals which now understand very well that if they will not see the reality, because the world is changing, you see.
Yeah, for sure.
There are a lot of political powers, another political powers. There are another influence sphere. We have to recognize that Russia is a power in this world, and she is friend with China and India. So, do you think we do have success against them? And now they are friend with USA, and we have a lot of military bases of NATO here in Europe. In Romania, we have certain military bases, NATO and USA. Do you think I could win a war against Russia? Are we nuts? Why? They want to kill our boys? I have a boy of 23 years old. I will not permit nobody to send him in this fight.
Yeah.
You know, in Romania we have order for going to the war. Why? And every man asks me, what shall we do, Diana? Refuse. After 3 times of refusing, you go to jail. It's better to be in jail than dead.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is a situation. They cover all this situation, and because I'm telling the truth all around the world, because I accepted all the interviews, they hate me, and they want me to get me out of the European Parliament. So what? They cannot stop me to talk. They cannot stop me to sing. It's like in a Spanish Inquisition. But that Inquisition lasts 6 centuries. I don't want to have 6 centuries of communism, of dictatorship. We know what is communism. We had 50 years in Romania. It's enough.
Yeah.
And all the good things from the communism now are destroyed. We had industry. We have no industry at all. They destroyed everything.
Yeah.
They destroyed factories. They demolished them. We have the best land in Europe. We do not have agriculture. All our agriculture is taken by strangers. We have half of Romanian population abroad.
Yeah.
There are almost 1.5 million in USA and 8 million in Europe. What shall we do with 10 millions in Romania?
Yeah.
They are old or very young or kids and women.
Yeah.
This is the real situation. And they want us to borrow from the bank 500 millions for war in every year. We do not have the funds to pay it. We have no money to pay the salaries from the system. Can you realize that?
Yeah.
So how can we go on as a country?
Yeah.
How can I pay back this borrow? Why? Because they want that their banks to live in a fairy tale forever. It's unacceptable and unacceptable, and I will not accept this kind of dictatorship.
No. Well, thank you, Diana. Thank you for the brief history of the elections in Romania. I think, especially for our Dutch viewers, it clears up a lot because, well, we don't hear your sides of other sides of Romania. So thank you a lot for your perspective on the whole question, and good luck with the future battles.
Thank you.